Okay folks, so I'm finally finished with oak longbow. And I was calling this English style longbow, but in reality it's more just like my own style of longbow. It is a longbow technically in that it's about the height of the archer, and it has long, narrower limbs as opposed to a flatbow that has shorter, wider limbs. Um, and the limbs start at the same width as the handle. Where it differs from like a traditional English longbow is that I have this big thick handle section where that's how I like to do it. I like to carve in like almost like a pistol grip um, into the handle for a really comfortable grip. And it came out pretty well. It's got a lot of character, this wood. It's really snaky. You can see especially in the lower limb. It just curves back and forth going down. This piece has a nice reflex and a little bit of natural recurve, and as is traditional for a longbow, there's no introduced recurve. I did get the upper limb a little straighter by heating it up and bending it straight because the alignment was pretty far off, and it just looks pretty nice, especially this handle. Look at the grain in there. And it's got great balance. I mean, this center is center of gravity. The limbs are of equal length. The lower limb is effectively about a ½ inch shorter just because of this second knock I have on there for stringing the bow. And like all my bows, I've been treating the limbs with linseed oil, but the handle just with beeswax. All right, so I'm here at the range and I got the oak bow strung up, and this will be the first time I'm shooting it outside of my backyard. Nice. Just barely hit the target, but felt good. I'm at about 15 yards, by the way. A longbow like this, there's no arrow rest. It just rests on the wood in your hand. Yeah. The alignment is like a little bit off, but it's on the side that the arrow passes, so I feel like it's not that bad for your aim. All right, let's see what we got. Okay, so it looks like we're 5 for 8 to hit the target at all, and 0 for 8 to hit the bullseye. Okay, so now I walked way down the field, all the way crosswise, across the range. I have the whole place to myself, and I'm gonna test these two bows and see how far I could get the arrows to fly. Okay, so I'm gonna test the two types of bows, the flatbow and the longbow, and two types of arrows, the obsidian head and the wood head. Wow. 19, 20, 21, 22, 24, 25, 26, 27, 29, 30, 31, 30, 33. So 133 feet, 133 paces. So that's 266 feet is as far as these first arrows made. This first arrow made, and then that one a couple more feet. 49, 50. So 150 paces to both these arrows.
So that's about 300 feet.
Okay, so I just made a little mistake. These are both from the longbow. Both these arrows. The one with the wood head made it a little bit farther, but both of them are approximately 266 feet. That means that the other two are both from the flatbow at about 300 feet. Both of them are pretty much exactly the same. So that's good to know. And that makes a lot of sense because the flatbow pulls like 10 pounds more than the longbow. Okay, gear review time. The bows performed great. I mean, the longbow, it felt really smooth. It felt like it was pretty accurate as compared to other bows I've made. And it shot with about how much power I expected to after I measured at 45 pounds at 28 inches. And I brought along the flatbow that I've already done a video on, but just to compare them. And the flatbow is more powerful. It just pulls at a higher weight, 55 pounds about at 28 inches. And so even though it's a lot shorter, it just has more power. So that's still my best bow that I've made, I would say. But the longbow's nice. I'm sad because I had hoped to get more like 60 to 70 pounds out of it, but it's only 45. But it's a smooth draw, and it works great. Both bows are just taking on a little bit of set string follow as I shoot them more and more. The arrows, I rebuilt a lot of those arrows recently, and they're fine. They didn't really take too much of a beating. There's a little bit of chafing or up here on the fletching, probably from the longbow because the flatbow has the brushes. And the pokeweed berry dye is really nice. They're pretty bright, so I didn't have any trouble tracking them down or anything. And then the target, I actually almost hit the bullseye today. And the quiver's still working. And then there's my Gransford Brook hatchet, which is not primitive. I didn't make that, but it's handy, and I used it today, so thought I'd include that. All right, so hope you guys liked the video.